Hello and welcome back to Sandra's Show. So today we're going to talk about how to get over someone you never really dated. Now this topic is a tricky topic and I know a lot of us have gone through that situation, but there's a lot of shame into talking about it and processing the feelings when it comes down to it because you never really truly dated that person, so you kind of feel invalidated and other people invalidate you in return. So I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps that I've taken in order to get over someone I never really dated, and these steps are the healthy way of going about this situation. So the reason why getting over someone you never really dated is hard, it's because that the relationship hangs between the beginning and ending stage. It basically doesn't have a straight beginning or a straight ending. It's always gonna be in an in-between stage because you guys went on a certain dates probably, or have feelings for each other, or have talked to each other for a period of time, but you never really dated, as in like never were exclusive. Then when it comes to it, you always feel like there might be something, although there isn't something, and you should be moving on. Sometimes this can even ruin someone's self-esteem because you might think to yourself, why am I not good enough? What is it that I'm lacking or that I'm not offering that this person doesn't like? But the truth is, a lot of the time, it's really not about you. Sometimes you might have been really intimate with a person or even shared intimacy, all the way to the point of sleeping with each other or, spending some time together, like sleeping over, etc. But it doesn't 100% mean anything for the other person. And you need to accept the fact that everyone is different. And nowadays, with our hookup culture and the behaviors that have been normalized in our society, it's really hard to tell what are people's intentions and what's happening or where the relationship is going to end up. I'm not criticizing our society or our culture, or the only harm lies in the fact of misleading people. The rejection and isolation you feel can be as palpable as if you were in a real relationship. It meant something to you, therefore it's normal that you will feel these things. But it is true, little doubt, that through time and distance, you will be able to get over that person. Without further ado, let's jump into the 7 steps you need to take in order to get over someone the healthy way. So the first step to take is to make sure you're not in contact. Have you ever heard of the saying, out of sight, out of mind? Well, this principle applies here. Now, just imagine you're already picturing that person, you're already thinking about them obsessively. Now, if you have to see them online all the time and go visit their profiles constantly, you're basically just hurting yourself and you're not letting yourself move on. Furthermore, if you even have them on your social media accounts, you're just leaving an entryway for them to come and go as they please, and you're never gonna have a clear separation from them. You're always gonna feel like, oh, it could happen, I'm just gonna wait, I'm just not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna have them on social media and creep on them. That is so toxic towards yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Like, personally, I've done that in the past so many times, and it's not worth it because by the time that the person does come back, I'm a different person, and it's just overall not a good feeling. And you should leave the past in the past, because if that person wanted to date, they would have dated you already. And we all know the typical, I'll post on my stories and I'll wait for him or her to see it and then I'll delete it or whatever it is. It's just not a way to live your life. Like, if you really need to get someone's attention like that, it's just putting yourself down at the end of the day, because you deserve so much better. You deserve someone who actually gives you their time and attention, not just through social media, like directly gives you time and attention. And I would recommend 100% to delete them off social media, cut the contact, delete their phone numbers, etc. In some cases, it might be a close friend or a family friend, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. I would then limit their account, or maybe block them from your stories for a little while, or just try to take a distance as much as you can. But if it's just someone like random that you've been dating, having a big crush on, I would definitely just cut it loose. Just cut it loose. Just cut it loose. There's no point, because you're just giving yourself false hope at this point. The other thing with social media is that we like to interpret anything, so we'll feel like it's mixed messages from them when they reply to a story, watch a story early, or like our posts or whatever. Nothing beats clear communication. So you cannot interpret someone's actions and feelings through their social media engagement, because in that case you're just going to drive yourself more crazy. Step number 2 is to ask yourself, am I chasing someone unattainable? The reason why this is a step is because it might reveal more about you than the person you were actually dating. Could it be that you're chasing someone unattainable because you're afraid of commitment? Could it be that you don't think that you deserve full love? I mean, really think about it. Sometimes we actually set ourselves up for failure. Sometimes we decide to date that person that's unattainable versus that person that's attainable, just for the reason that they're unattainable. And that again ties back to self-sabotaging behavior. If you want to learn more about self-sabotage, I have a video on it, and you can always watch that one and then come back to this video. But this is another way of self-sabotaging your happiness and relationships and the way you approach love. Even getting involved with someone that's unattainable is just not worth it. Sometimes people will get involved with people that are married, already in a relationship, that are moving away, that are in a superior position than them, that are like their manager or their boss. A lot of times we're chasing people that are emotionally unavailable, and that could be a reflection of ourselves. Are we emotionally available? Are we just misguided? Do we just think that you really like this person and you think they'll be emotionally available for you? It could be either or. I've actually been in that situation a few times where the guy had just come out of a relationship, and I thought, I don't know how, I thought that I'd be the next person. But I was wrong, because clearly some people are emotionally unavailable after they end relationships. Just know that there are a lot of available people out there. There are a lot of people that can meet your needs and expectation. There are a lot of people that will make you feel desirable. Step number 3 is erase the down the road hypothesis. Now again, this is self-evident, but we don't do it because we always like to dream for more or hope for more. But this is what actually keeps you stuck. This is what actually doesn't help you from moving on. I'll give you a personal example. There was a guy that I never truly dated. However, we spoke almost every day for 3 months, and that's just, for me personally, that's rare, because I don't like talking to people that are not close to me. I don't really give people my time and attention unless I feel really comfortable and safe and understood by them. So me and this guy, we had both just came out of a relationship, and we were friends. Basically, we started off as friends. We talked every day, and towards the end it became more like we had feelings for each other, and we met 1 or 2 times and nothing happened when we met. We just talk, and there was that possibility of a romance or going towards the next step. And then towards the end he pulled away, and because we were just friends all this time, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is strange. He'll reach out in the future and we'll become friends again. But that never happened. A month passed, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year and a half, and that's it. That was the end of it. There's no more friendship there. There's nothing there. The down the road hypothesis is really tricky, because you're just sitting there and waiting for maybe the impossible. Best thing you can do for yourself is to get rid of those hopes and to move on. The other thing I want to say is that whether it's intentional or unintentional, someone that actually likes you won't be playing mind games, leaving you on red, pulling away from you, and doing all those other things. This is not like a young adult novel. This is not like a book or fiction. These things in real life do not translate well, because when you don't get love and attention, or you just get it sporadically, if you just get it sporadically, you're basically in a toxic relationship, or you're in a relationship maybe with a narcissist, and you just keep going for more because you're not getting enough. And when you get something, it's like a high and then it's a crash again. But a person that actually loves you and that actually wants a relationship with you is going to feel so much more different. Might be some hesitation, but not as much as someone that's always on the verge of leaving. Another little word about the down the road hypothesis: most of the times second chances do not work. I know we love to hear about it, read about it, and sometimes it does work, but most of the time second chances do not work. If anything, that person causes more damage on the second round because they're actually dating you, and then when it ends, it's even more hurtful because why did you even take that chance? And sometimes things don't work out for a reason, and they should be left with that reason. Step number 4 is to allow yourself to feel. It could be really invalidating when you go to that situation because people don't understand it. You don't really talk about people. You never say, oh, I dated this person for this X amount of time. So it could be your family and friends, they don't understand, or they just say, oh, just move on. But at the beginning, you really need to process your feelings and emotions. You need to go through all the emotions and not suppress it, and not just tell yourself, oh, it's nothing, I'll get over it, or I'm over it. Because what happens is when you do enter a real relationship, when you do enter a relationship with someone that actually values you and gives you their time and attention, those feelings might resurface then. And in that case, it's not fair to the other person and it's not fair to you. So always take a moment to process all of your feelings and to feel them wholeheartedly, because these type of relationship can be as harmful as a real long-lasting relationship. It all depends on what was shared, how much you opened up to the other person, how much you really cared or wanted something with the other person. So when dealing with your feelings, if you can't talk to close family and friends about it, I would highly recommend going online and seeing people in the similar situation and reading their stories and interacting with them, because you'll never feel as seen and heard than someone that has been in a similar situation as you. And honestly, you never know, reach out to your friends, because I feel like a lot of people have gone through this situation and people just don't want to talk about it because it can be kind of hurtful and shameful and we like to suppress it. So try to be open and honest about it, and you'll be surprised to see the responses you get. If you still do not feel comfortable or you still don't feel like you're appeased, I would highly recommend talking to a professional, because that is their job. They'll walk you through things, they'll let you talk, they'll let you discuss. So there's also that option. Another thing that I love doing is writing down in a journal. So I love to process all those feelings, all those emotions, all those interactions with a person, and I write them down in a journal. And the reason why I do that is that once I write something down in my journal, that's it. That's kind of like my processing method personally for me. I kind of just move on. The moment I turn the page, that's it. That was part of my past. Right now, as I'm writing it, I'm going through all these emotions and I'm processing it, and I'm allowing myself to, wallow in them, and I'm allowing myself to devour me whole. But journaling has seriously helped me in all these type of situations in my life, especially the emotionally taxing and emotionally traumatic ones. It has helped me put a voice to it and also quiet it at the same time. So I highly recommend journaling. Step number 5 is to truly think if that person was for you. Sometimes we are blinded by rose-colored glasses. I personally call them the adoration sunglasses, because really you put those on and you're like, oh, I adore this person, they can't do no harm, and even if they do, it's fine because they're adorable and I super adore them, right? So, but the truth is, people should not be esteemed in that regards, like, ever. Instead, you should really think if that person was for you, not only on a superficial level but also on a deeper level, like as in what are the morals and values that they hold and what are the morals and values that you hold, and on a fundamental level as well, because that also causes a lot of tension. So fundamental levels, I mean, how are their views on politics, on religion, on gender? Those are all things that can cause a lot of friction, and you can be changing and altering the person that you are in order to fit the person that they're looking for, and therefore it's a really toxic situation. At first, when we get to know a person, we don't really know who they are and how they operate and what they believe in. They might say they believe in certain things, they might say they're a certain way, but it's not 100% true. Some things of what they say, you should take it into account. When someone says, I have a big ego, then you should listen and pay attention and write that down in your notebook, because it might come out the day that you're not expecting, that their ego comes out. Sometimes we even ignore initial red flags on the behaviors and habits of a person that a person possesses just because we really like them and we really want to get to know them. And you know, I'm not saying that anyone is perfect. Everyone has some little red flags, but there are things that if you already know you cannot put up with, I don't know why we continue going into a situation. So say you cannot stand people that do X, so why are you trying to date someone that does X? It's all about compatibility, because at the end of the day, two people need to be compatible in order to date. That's just the reality. So with the person that you're getting over, I would highly recommend making a list of their good and bad traits and see exactly what do you like and what you didn't like, what traits that you actually really want in a partner. So moving forward, you'll make sure to attract that person that you want, and you'll make sure to give a chance to those people that actually align with the way that you are and the traits that you seek. No one is perfect. No one's gonna have everything that you want. There are a lot more people that align with the good traits that you have in mind. Also, when you reflect back on the things that that person has said and done, you can slowly start to see with an objective lens, not a subjective lens. You can start to see all the little problems that you ignored with your rose-colored glasses. Step number 6 is to keep your mind occupied. The reason why you should do that is because, similar to out of sight, out of mind, you shift your mind focus from them to yourself. So you shift all your obsession towards something that's healthier. When I say occupy your mind, I don't say like texting 10 other people. I mean mostly occupying your mind in bettering yourself and to do the things that you love. You can start new projects that you always wanted to start. You can find new hobbies. You can interact with friends. You can go out with more friends. It's also a good idea to engage in activities that will release your feelings, such as writing, journaling, reading, and working out. As the weeks go by, you will think less and less about that person. You will find yourself more engaged in the many aspects of life. You won't have any more time and energy space to devote to thinking about that person, obsessing about the situation. Instead, you will have that time and focus spent on healthy and productive habits instead. The final step, step number 7, is to allow yourself to move on. After you've completed all these other steps and you've processed everything healthily, it's time for you to get back out there if you feel ready and inclined to do so. Don't sort off dating for the rest of your life, because honestly, I say that all the time and no one believes me when I say it anymore, because it's not a way to live your life either. If you like dating people and you want to meet someone and you want to be with someone that's, you know, in line with your vision of life and you want to grow with someone, then it's normal that you want to date and you want to meet that person, but it's also normal that you have some hesitation and you're scared of dating again. But if you've done these 6 steps, then you feel much more grounded. You feel you have much more clarity. You can even be more cautious. Allow yourself to date. Know that you are truly free. You don't have a hold from that person because you don't have them as a contact anymore, and you've worked on yourself, you worked on your feelings, you processed, and you've accepted the situation. You've accepted that you deserve someone much better, someone that is actually compatible to you, and you understand that those people are actually out there waiting for you to be ready to date. So there are many fishes in the sea, but they're just waiting for you to be available while they're swimming past you constantly. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed these 7 steps that you need to take in order to get over someone you never truly dated. Like I said, a lot of us have been into this situation. I've been into my fair share of the situation. That's why I was able to write this down and present it to you in video. As always, there's always a blog post linked down below if you rather read it, or make sure you have it in case you want to refer back to it. As usual, I would love to hear your experiences. I would love to hear some of the steps you've taken. As always, you never know when your experience and your advice might help other people, so feel free always to engage down below. I respond to every comment and I look forward to hearing about you. But for now, I'll see you on the next shelf.